he's talking to Elizabeth Olsen. He's like, "Oh, I'm so much older than you," and I'm looking at the two of them and I go, "Really? Because you don't seem like you're really that much older than her." I
Well,
mean,
actually, I want to ask you that question, James. What do you think of this film's focus on the age difference? Do you think this film did a good? Because I know that's one thing people always harp on about. I hate. All right, now we're bringing it up with Woody because it's very pertinent. Because this is a movie that tries to address an age difference, even though they look very similar in age, and in reality, they kind of are as well. But the movie's playing with that theme and is trying to be very serious, very mature about how it handles that. How do you think the movie handles that? Because I think it tries, and I think it's amusing, but I'm not sure if it lands.
I don't know. There's the whole thing where he's talking about where he discovers that she's reading. I don't think it was actually Twilight.
It was,
but it was. Was it? I didn't know. They never said the title, so
they show the cover with the hand holding the apple.
Yeah, and he sees that she's reading it, and going, "How can you read this? This is a problem with the world." Blah, blah. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, there were plenty of middle-aged moms reading Twilight. There were plenty of older, especially he's 35. Plenty of older people who were reading Twilight at the time. So that one thing where it's supposed to be that she's supposed to be more immature or younger or anything didn't make me think that she was. It just made me go, "Oh, she's reading this stupid book." And I think that's where the relationship part of it kind of started to not work for me, because when he's this is supposed to be almost like their first real date.
Yeah.
And he goes on and on and on about it so much that I thought this girl would absolutely say to him, "You know what? I don't want to continue doing this because you're weird and you're making way too big a deal out of this, and I don't think this is going to work." I didn't feel the connection between the two of them. I felt like they liked the same books. It actually felt like in some ways that she was exposing him to more new things than he was exposing her to.
I agree with that. I think the character came away feeling that way at the end of the movie as well, actually.
Yeah, it just, at the end of the movie, she sort of says, "Well, I think that I wanted to take a shortcut into adulthood, maybe by dating you." And it felt like she was, and again, it's sort of very basic college level, I burned you a CD kind of a thing. And they're talking about books and everything, which is great. That's a great sort of way to your first date, you're talking about what you like and everything. I never got a feeling though that they were compatible outside of that. And maybe the movie doesn't think they were either, because I'll throw this out there as a little anecdote. Last year I was 39 and I went out on a date with somebody who was 23. So kind of a similar age-wise situation. And we had things in common, but in the end, when I look back, I'm glad that it didn't go any further than that, because the age difference, I said to somebody afterwards, I was like, she lives half her life on social media, and I can't relate to that. I can't relate to every time I have a thought posting about it. So what they were saying about the age difference, I understood from that personal experience. But again, I just didn't feel like, I felt like she came off so much when I watched the trailer when you mentioned the title of it last month, because I never even heard of it, and I thought, oh, she's supposed to be what, 25? Then the movie's, oh no, she's 19. If they hadn't have told me she was 19, I would have assumed that she was mid-20s.
Do you think they went too far with that? You just took me out of it. I can't suspend my disbelief on that. It was a bit of a push, especially as you mentioned, since she's so mature as well. It probably come on. And obviously who Elizabeth Olsen is now in pop culture, it's very hard to go back and watch and I'll be like, I can't see it. I can't see this actress being 19 because she's so mature and in real life she was over 20 as well. So I can understand why that did disrupt your suspension of disbelief. But yeah, I did buy it a little bit more than you. But let me play the clip, and I haven't got a lot of clips, guys. This isn't going to be a movie clip show, but I'm going to play this clip because there's something they discuss at the end, which is something I want people to take in mind when listening to us talking. Let me play the clip because this is the whole Twilight argument, which is again one of the more humorous parts of the movie.
I liked it. It was fun and stupid, and it passed the time. And it's not Tolstoy, but it's also not television. And it made me happy. How are you?
Thank you. This is the worst book ever written in English.
So there are worse books written in other languages?
Probably not, unless this book is translated into other languages.
Really? We don't need to do this.
No, please, let's. I need to know how you read these, I guess you call them sentences, close the book, and feel anything other than offended and sad.
Well, millions of people like it.
So when millions of people like something, that means it's good?
No, it means millions of people like it. These books make people happy. We don't always have to be thinking about poli-sci or reading Chaucer, which, by the way, I hated.
You're not supposed to like it.
But then why read it? You love college so much, right? Isn't it all about understanding different points of view?
It's also about developing taste.
That was snobby. You're a snob.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You think it's cool to hate things. And it's not. It's boring. Talk about what you love and keep quiet about what you don't.
Look, I know how this sounds, but trust me, this is a big deal, okay? This country is in bad shape, and it has to do, in large part, I think, with people liking things that are very, very bad.
Right, according to you. Well, why are you the one who gets to decide what's good and bad? And do you only want to surround yourself with people who have read the same books as you?
I guess we're going to have to move on to specific example.
You know, through doing this retrospective, you get so many people saying that, you know, the thing I like about the discussion, even outside of the movie, it's just that whole discussion about people being snobs, about being opinionated, and people saying you should watch things because of taste. And even someone said to me, you know, you're going to talk about non-Woody Allen movies in the Woody Allen podcast. It's going to kind of contaminate the quality of the discussion, of the legacy of what you're trying to do here. And even though me and you might not agree about this movie in particular, that's not the point. The point is to have film discussion and what they're trying to get across with the narrative, with the screenplay, with the actors, all the elements. This is what I love about Woody Allen's films in particular. And anyone who tries to create similar narratives, I like what they're trying to say because it's about life. And we're trying to discuss that and dissect it because it's fun, it's interesting. And if we all agreed, life would be fucking boring, as she calls them out on, which I loved. I loved that bit when she did that because I'm like, it's meta. You guys listening who thinks that, you know, we should all agree or this ain't a good movie, that's not the point, man. The point is to watch something that we have different the perspectives on, because I got a couple of things out of the movie, but I can definitely admit this movie isn't as good as I remembered. But there's another part of the movie I want to talk about. But yeah, I like that discussion they had about being snobs, being opinionated, people from different ages, having similar tastes, but still these two have similar tastes on some things, but they disagree wildly on other things. And he comes off as a pretentious snob about her not liking a pop culture book for whatever reason. And then it kind of wakes him up to realize, oh, actually, come to think about it, I am a bit of a prick.
Yeah. You know, if you're going to compare it to like Manhattan, where, you know, the relationship between Woody and
Mariel Hemingway's character?
Mariel Hemingway, yeah. Where he is exposing her to things. And I can't remember a scene in it where, you know, she talks about something that is of her generation and he sort of dismisses it.